Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has announced a new objective in the war with Iran. He says the U.S. and Israel are now seeking to create conditions for the clerical regime in Tehran to fall. Listen in.
We are crushing the nuclear infrastructure, the missile and launcher array, the suppression headquarters, the regime's power centers, and many other goals. At the same time, we are working to advance another goal, to create the conditions for the Iranian people to be able to bring down the brutal, tyrannical regime that has tyrannized it for almost 50 years.
However, during his address, Netanyahu clarified that any change in Iran must come from within the country, as he urged Iranians to take to the streets and bring about that change. But he admitted there is no guarantee that the Iranian people will rise up against the regime. Despite what he described as the optimal conditions created by U.S. and Israeli actions.
We are delivering crushing blows to the Revolutionary Guards and the Basij, both in the streets and at checkpoints, and there is still more to be done. I say to the Iranian people, the moment when you can set out on a new path of freedom, that moment is drawing closer. We stand beside you, we help you, but in the end it depends on you. It is in your hands.
Netanyahu's address came just hours after Iran's new leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, vowed to avenge the blood of its martyrs. Khamenei also warned that all U.S. bases in the region should be closed immediately or attacks would continue. While responding to that warning, Netanyahu issued a threat against Iran's new leader.
We eliminated the tyrant Khamenei, as well as many senior figures in the terrorist regime. We eliminated the old tyrant, and the new tyrant, Mojtaba, the puppet of the Revolutionary Guards, cannot show his face in public. I wouldn't issue life insurance policies on any of the leaders of the terrorist organizations. This is their patron of terrorism, and I don't intend to provide an exact report here about what we are planning or what we are going to do.
The Israeli Prime Minister also said he has warned the Lebanese government to take action against Hezbollah, who on Thursday, in a joint operation with the IRGC, fired 200 rockets at Israel, which is according to the IDF. Netanyahu warned if Lebanon fails to disarm the group, Israel will do it themselves.
How will we do it? On the ground, with the ground and other things. I am not going to go into detail here, but I assure you that we, as I said, will exact a very heavy price from Hezbollah, and it is better for the Lebanese government to precede us and participate in this process. If it does not do it, we will have no choice but to do it our own way.
Just moments after Netanyahu's warning to Lebanon, the Israeli army launched a new wave of attack on Hezbollah. The IDF said that it hit Hezbollah command posts in several waves of strikes on Beirut and southern Lebanon. Israel's attacks on Lebanon has killed more than 687 people, while more than 800,000 people have registered as displaced. To discuss more on this, we were earlier joined by Stephen Golub, a political analyst and lawyer. Listen into what he had to say.
Sleepwalked might be a good term, in that this is a man who's very ignorant as well as arrogant when it comes to knowledge of the issues he's dealing with in all sorts of ways, including one of the most important issues a president can deal with, going to war. In terms of that data you quoted from Brown University, which I'm proud to be an alumnus of, that those are massive sums that were invested by the U.S. in those countries, ultimately completely unsuccessfully in Afghanistan, given that the Taliban came back, and to a good extent unsuccessfully in Iraq as well. I don't think this will be a forever war for a couple of reasons. One is that it won't last nearly as long. For one thing, Donald Trump, I don't think, has the attention span or the patience for that. he realizes that getting involved in a forever war could hurt him even more politically than a short-term engagement could. He's very concerned with the stock market, and the longer this war goes on, the more that could hurt the stock market and the economy and his political standing. That's not to say he won't sleepwalk or stumble into a longer engagement that could go on for months and months, but I'm not seeing this as something that will go on for years and years. The one caveat to all this is you've got a guy who has, personality problems, may be exhibiting the starts of dementia in terms of how he's interacting with the world. And on top of that is advised by a group of advisors who are much less competent than the people who, rightly or wrongly, in terms of the policies pursued, were the guides, were the people who worked with previous presidents, be they Democratic or Republican.